Sorry, Marcus. Marcus had a family emergency come up last night, and he called this morning and said he couldn't come, so I apologize for that. He's a nicer guy, he's better looking, he's younger, and he's a better pickleball player, but outside of that, we're pretty much the same. And our goal is a little bit different than YMCA. Our goal is to build something that'll bring the children and the millennials from Wilmington over to Leland and try out pickleball. And that's happening in a lot of places around the country. But our objective is to establish a local public-private partnership whereby we can build a world-class indoor pickleball facility right here in Leland. What's the purpose of establishing one of these facilities? We want to create something that we are very confident can have a positive economic impact. Mr. David Sink, chairman of the Leland Economic Developments, will speak on that economic impact a little later. I'm not focused on that right now. But also create a brand for Wilmington. And be a destination that people want to come to, and a place where they can play pickleball, and we can host state, national, and regional tournaments here. We already have an excellent reputation in Leland for pickleball throughout the Southeast. Several of us just played a tournament yesterday in Richmond. So there's a lot of pickleball tournaments throughout the country. Provide an indoor venue with 8 courts, whereby more than 700 of the current Leland residents will play pickleball, and 1,160 Brunswick County pickleball players can play year-round. And lastly, and probably most importantly from an economic standpoint, is to get a lot of those 15,000 baby boomers that are retiring every day to make a decision to live in Leland, North Carolina. And more, we're hearing that the people up north have heard of pickleball and they like it. And they really enjoy playing pickleball. That's a lot of people who are retiring every day. So we see that as a huge opportunity for our entire Leland community. And these people are seeking a very active, vibrant lifestyle. And we can definitely help provide that. Pickleball is an option there. What's the current state of it? Well, pickleball came to Leland about 4 years ago. And I think Jan and Marty and 8 other people started playing. Today we have over 700 players. How many of you have never heard of pickleball? You have, because we came to see you one night. But that is amazing. If you had asked that question 3 years ago, I promise you, everybody but 5 people in this room would have raised their hand. So you are making a difference, Marty, Mr. Ambassador. That's good. So, but we have had 4 very successful tournaments within the county in the last year. Brunswick Forest was kind enough to let us use their courts for 2 that sponsored cancer, Dink for Pink and Lump to Laughter. We had the senior games held at Brunswick Forest, and we also had a tournament where we raised money for the Brunswick County women's basketball team that was very successful. We had 120 local players in that tournament there. The Dink for Pink, which we raised $18,000 for last year, comes up March 15th and 18th, and please come out and watch these players play. We have 240 players signed up. They're not just signed up, they paid. So they're pretty likely to come. So that will be the largest pickleball tournament in the state of North Carolina this year. So we're really excited about that. And we've done some economic incentive information, and David's going to share that with you also. We're really excited about that tournament. We train hundreds of players monthly. The number one word that you could use to describe pickleball is a very simple word that we all like: fun. Pickleball is about having fun. They're projecting, you must be, because they're projecting to go from 2.5 million participants to 8 million participants in 10 years. Now the next statistic is stunning to me. Brunswick County has more pickleball players than any county east of Arizona. Arizona State, except for a couple in Florida. And I think Jeff's actually been to the Villages, maybe several people have. The Villages has 180 courts with 2,000 players. Now let's go across the bridge. New Hanover County has 190 players with 5 indoor facilities and 7 outdoor facilities. Let's come back to Leland. We have 3 outdoor facilities with 10 courts located in Brunswick Forest subdivision, 4 in Waterford, And Magnolia Greens has 2 courts they share for tennis and pickleball. And our state has the 3rd largest concentration of pickleball players in the country, and it's been nationally recognized as the state with the most rapid growth. So pickleball is here and here to stay and here to grow in North Carolina. And many new people, it's even got to the point where a lot of people, when they go to make a decision where they're moving to, they want to know about your pickleball. Not just that you have pickleball courts, but do you have different levels of players that we can compete with? Pickleball is very much a social sport and very much a competitive sport. Let's take a look at a couple of examples. Spalding County, Georgia, just southwest of Atlanta. The Georgia Economic Development Department Office of Tourism stated pickleball is a game changer for sports tourism in Spalding County. That's a big statement. When we start saying game changer, that's a big statement. And then Peter Phelps, their ambassador, wrote, pickleball is where soccer tournaments were in the 80s. In the near future, I see middle school and high school students traveling with their parents across the country, like to Leland, just to play pickleball as they do soccer today. They are building 18 outdoor courts and 6 of them covered. And economic development impact, we'll let David talk about that. Okay, let's go to a real little place. Up in the mountains, Towns County, Georgia, population 980 people, completed a pickleball tournament of 230 players last March. Huge economic impact. Now, this is what developers want to hear. 3 couples bought property during the tournament, and 2 other couples came from the villages and bought condos a week later. This is a question I'd like to get an answer to. If someone decides to relocate, let's say Waterford, I live in Brunswick Forest, let's say Waterford, and they live there for 20 years, don't have any kids in school, retired, playing pickleball, what economic impact does that represent over 20 years? If we figured that out, it'd be a pretty significant number. And they had 4 move to a town of 980 people in one tournament. And they had a second tournament that year with a bigger impact. North Carolina, let's get back to North Carolina. Where do you see the 2 big dots on that board? There's one in Little Leland, North Carolina, and there's one in Cabarrus County up by Charlotte. So these are the 25 tournaments that were held in our state last year. 4 of them were in Leland, 6 of them were in Concord. Why should Town of Leland even consider building an indoor pickleball facility? I'm sure that's a question a lot of your minds sitting here tonight. Let's talk about it for a minute. First of all, it creates great interaction and camaraderie among the town's neighborhoods. We're already seeing that. Right now, that's happening every week in our neighborhoods. But more important to me, I went out there over Christmas. We were getting ready to do some training, and there was a lady was playing, her daughter was playing, and the grandson was playing. 3 generations playing pickleball and all having fun. Now, you can't name a lot of things today that you go out and do with your grandchildren that you both finish and you both say, my gosh, that was fun. Really aren't many, but pickleball is one of them. It creates a sense of community throughout our county. It increases the property values within town as people buy homes. It would increase the property taxes, hotel use, additional programs for town's youth, and we can become a leader in one of the fastest growing sports in America. That's a good opportunity. We can become a national pickleball tournament training destination with IPTPA certified instructors. There are 100 of those in the country, and we're about to have 5 in Brunswick Forest.